Today I'm going to show you how I load a quilt onto my long arm frame. So we start with the backing fabric, and we want this to be pretty side facing down. If your backing fabric has a directional print or something that clearly should be at the top of the quilt, you'll want to load that first onto the backing bar. To start, we're going to find the halfway point across the top and the bottom. And the easiest way to do that is just to fold it in half and then put a pin right at that fold. So we will do that along the top edge, as well as the bottom edge. Now, I have an idle bar on my machine, so I need to have this fabric go underneath that idle bar, and then I'll bring it around to the front. And now we need to attach the backing fabric to the top leader cloth. So I have marked my leader cloth, so there's the center right here. I'm going to start from the center and work my way out. I recently installed the Sew Tight Magnums, so I will just line up the fabric so it is parallel to this edge and then pop on the magnets. So for me, it's easiest if I just make the edge of the leader cloth sit right on top. Then we'll take that pin, line it up. I'll actually use that pin just to hold it in place. So that is lined up with the center of the back rail. And now I can feel where the metal bars are. We're just going to drop a magnet there. Line up the raw edge with the edge of the leader cloth. Drop another magnet. And just continue on. Before I forget, I'm going to take that pin out. So we have it attached to the top leader. Now I'm going to roll it so that most of the fabric is on this bar, so I could attach it to the lower bar here. All right, now on my front leader, I also have the center marked there. So we're going to line up the raw edge with the edge of that. Pin this just to hold it. And then I've given myself a little bit of slack so that I can fold this so it rests on top of the front rail while I attach my magnets. Take that pin out before I forget. All right, now to actually work the quilt, we need all of the backing to be on the front rail. So I'm going to roll it all up into this front rail. And as I'm going, I will make sure it's smooth. There's no wrinkles or creases or anything like that. All right, the back's all loaded and it has even tension across. You can see there's no like sagging points. So we're good there. Next, we're going to add our batting layer. I'm going to lay down the quilt top so I can measure it. All right, we're right at about 59 inches. And I'm going to add 3 inches on each side. So we're going to go 65 inches of batting. 65 is right here. All right, we'll set this top aside for now. We're going to lay our batting down pretty much in the center and try and line up the top of the batting along the pin line. And to make sure that I get everything square on here, what I like to do is run a quick basting stitch with my channel locks on. So my channel locks are down here on the side of the machine. I'll just put it down, and that prevents the machine from going forward and backwards, but it'll still go side to side. And I don't personally like the basting feature of the machine, so what I will do is just set my stitches per inch to 4, so each stitch will be a 1/4 inch, and I feel that is wide enough that it's easy to pull out if needed. So I will just stitch a straight line all the way across. Hopefully you can see that in the camera because it's a darker thread, but that straight line right there is what I will use to line up the top edge of the quilt. Get that pretty well centered. And then I am going to use a few pins to help hold it in place while I baste down the quilt top. So I just align that raw edge with the stitching line. Pin every couple inches. That's just to help it stay in place and not get stretched out along the top edge while I baste it. Now I'll typically release my channel lock, move forward about 1/8 of an inch, and then I can stitch another straight line across the top. And I'll release the channel lock so I can baste down the two sides. Alright, the quilt is all basted and ready for me to set up the quilting pattern. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about loading a quilt onto a long arm, feel free to drop in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.